Hackensack, and on behalf of our mayor and the rest of the council, I want to welcome everyone. I also want to welcome our congressman, and I want to thank him and his staff for coming today to give us a little more insight on a new safety plan suggested to our Department of Education. I want to thank our police, our fire department, and of course our Board of Education. And I will give you Chief Reel of the fire department.
Excellent. Thank you. I'll give you a little applause, man, because no one else is taking care of you. I'll do it. I mean, Chief.
I'd like to invite everybody to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief. I think we're turning to the Deputy Chief now. Deputy Chief, good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning. So thanks to Josh Gottheimer and his team for the invitation to speak today. We're here to discuss a critically important topic, safety, specifically e-bike and e-scooter safety. The City of Hackensack has recently passed an ordinance focused on enhancing safety around the use and storage of e-bikes and e-scooters. Effective January 1st, 2026, this ordinance will prohibit the sale or use of any second use or reconditioned lithium-ion batteries in mobility devices unless the battery is UL listed and labeled for that specific device. The ordinance will restrict the storage and charging of the mobility device, excluding medical devices such as wheelchairs, in high-risk areas such as multi-family dwellings and commercial spaces. These restricted areas include common areas, basements, attics, below-ground garages, utility rooms, closets, exit access, means of egress, or exits. This ordinance will be enforced by the Fire Prevention Bureau. With the increasing number of fires, injuries, and even fatalities caused by e-bikes and e-scooter batteries, proactive measures like this can and will save lives. Safety is and must always be our top priority, and that's why we're here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deputy Chief. Really appreciate it. Excellent. Okay, now it's my turn. Okay, thank you very much, Deputy Chief. Thank you for your service. Chief, thank you for having us. I do want to thank all law enforcement here as well. Very grateful for your service. We've got Councilman Carroll. Thank you for representing the team so well. We've got a phenomenal group from the Board of Education here. I want to thank all the board members who are here. Hackensack Superintendent Andrea Oates Parchment is here as well. Chief Reel, as we discussed. Tom Freeman, who's the city manager, does a great job. I want to thank Tom. Ken Martin, as we know, from the Board of Ed. Lieutenant Capadano from Hackensack PD. And Jim Montesano, who is our principal, who does a phenomenal job. It is great to be with you at Hackensack High School, home of the Comets, and nearly 2,000 Burning Bright students leading our way to the future. It's already an exciting year for the high school. After defeating Passaic High School last week, the Hackensack varsity football team is playing here tonight against John F. Kennedy High School. Principal, I think we'll have a good game, I hope. And I know you got the varsity tennis team here at home against Northern Highlands. Our great state is home to some of the best schools in the nation, including this one. We're not just lucky to have the best firefighters and the best cops and the best educators, but the best students in the best schools. The folks here work tirelessly to make sure our kids get the best education. But also, we got to make sure that they're always safe. To me, that's critically important. And the superintendent will tell you that's also part of the job. Besides teaching our kids, our other big job is to make sure they can get to school safely, they get home safely, and they can hang with their friends. We've all seen kids zipping around town on their electric bikes or e-bikes, or the scooters as was mentioned, right? We've actually got some e-bikes here, and you got some regular bikes. I guess, you know, when I grew up, I got on a regular bike, I used to have to pedal. I still pedal. You know, maybe that was very 20th century of me to actually have to pedal a bike. But, you know, e-bikes are one of the fastest growing trends right now. In 2024 alone, 1.7 million e-bikes were sold in the United States, a 75% increase from the year before, just to give you a sense of how fast this trend is growing. And people, of course, can rent them too. City Bike has 82 stations in Hoboken and Jersey City, and more than 2,000 stations across New York City. Plus, there's e-bike places to rent all over the place in the state of Jersey, and as you know, in the tri-state area. E-bikes work like traditional bikes, but with battery-powered electric motors, as the Deputy Chief was just saying, that help you pedal. So you can go further and faster much more easily and efficiently. While fun and efficient, without the right safety precautions, we all know what can happen. They can also be very dangerous. And that's why we're here today to announce my new e-bike safety plan. New action to ensure that we do everything we can to keep our children safe. To be clear, now if used properly, e-bikes, besides being a lot of fun and efficient, can be safe and an effective method of getting around. For adults, they also can cost less than buying a car or paying for gas or costly repairs. And they have zero emissions, so that is, of course, a good thing for the environment. But just like driving a car, we need to ensure that people, especially our younger riders, are taking precautions to prevent injuries. The statistics, look at those hands, that was pretty fast. Come on, man. That was pretty good. I think cold, it's gonna blow over here. Okay? Oh, you can just hold it. Yeah, that's good. The statistics are alarming. This past July, a 14-year-old was tragically killed in Summers Point when they were riding an e-bike and collided with a car. The same month, a 15-year-old riding an e-bike in Montvale had to be rushed to the hospital after an e-bike slammed into a car. In August, a 13-year-old on an e-bike in Westfield needed to be treated for a serious head injury after crashing. These are, by the way, just a few of the ones that have been reported. It's heartbreaking and it's becoming increasingly common. Broken bones, head injuries, falls, spills. I'm sure our firefighters and cops and EMTs can tell us a lot of stories about kids getting hurt. Across the country, e-bike injuries surged 293% from 2019 to 2022. A U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission study found that between 2017 and 2022, hospitals reported more than 53,000 e-bike related injuries. That's just the latest stats, and those are a couple years old. So you can imagine, given the number of people riding e-bikes, how that number's gone up. In New York City, there have already been more than 400 e-bike crashes this year alone, 20% more than last year at this time. On top of that, an NIH study shows that the age group most commonly affected by e-bike injuries was between 10 and 13 years old. Let me say that again, because I think it's important. The biggest problem we see growing right now is between 10 and 13-year-olds who hop on e-bikes and, you know, zip around and aren't necessarily ready and don't have all the precautions and training. The NIH study also found that compared to riders on pedal bikes or mopeds, children on e-bikes use helmets less and had a higher rate of hospitalization. So we've got a helmet problem as well. These aren't just statistics, they're kids, they're family members, they're loved ones. So the question is, what do we do about it? Well, that's where my e-bike safety plan comes in to address the alarming number of e-bike accidents happening here in Jersey, across the tri-state area, and of course, since I'm in Congress, for across the country. First, here in Jersey, it starts with actually enforcing the rules that are already on the books. For instance, if you're under 17, you must wear a helmet. I brought a helmet. If you're under 17, this is what you need to wear. You got to wear a helmet. Right? Now, people don't know that's the law in Jersey. You will get fined as a parent if your kid's not wearing a helmet. Right? That is the law. You have to wear a helmet. If your kid's not wearing a helmet, you will get fined. Riders of all Riders of e-bikes must obey all traffic lights, signs, and signals, stay off sidewalks, and ride in the same direction as traffic. That seems like an obvious thing to say, but, you know, it's not always the case. There are some other local rules depending on where you live, but if you're renting an e-bike, many of the major companies, like City Bike and Hoboken and Jersey City, require you to be at least 16 years old. But I'm concerned that it's far too easy for children to skirt those rules, and I'm writing a letter to the major e-bike companies, ensuring that they find better ways to enforce their own rules. I'm sure you've seen them driving around on the e-bikes and they're not wearing helmets, right? Or they're not of age, because the e-bikes, again, they have those companies, the big ones, have age requirements to rent their bikes, and those age requirements are often not enforced. City Bike recently claimed that they're instituting age verification to ensure that kids can't get on them using their parents' account. But right now, we haven't seen the specifics of those rules and how they're going to do it. And I know this is crazy, but kids use their parents' account, right? They get around rules. And the bell tries to save them from those rules. Self-declared birthday verification, which is the current system, obviously doesn't always work, and many kids, as I said, use their parents' account. We also see kids riding around with two kids on one bike, which, as you know, is not only dangerous, but against the rules. Second, while we've taken some steps in Jersey, and our laws are actually softer than the laws next door in New York when it comes to e-bikes,